Hey everyone, my name is Sean Arnold and welcome to another episode of Subscriber Showdown. Today I am finishing off the game I had with MrMcAwesomePants, our 2 out of 3 game with Ghostricks versus 6 Samurais. He took the first game, I took the second, and now we are off into the third game where MrMcAwesomePants is going to start things off by playing a continuous spell card called 6 Samurai United. This is a continuous spell card which makes it so that anytime a 6 Samurai monster is normal or special summoned to my opponent's side of the field, it gains a counter. Once he has a maximum of 2 counters on the field or on the card, he can send it from the field to the graveyard in order to draw a counter for every counter, a card for every counter on the card. Lots of C words there. So he draws 2 cards for his efforts and now has a decent little bit of field presence there with 6 Samurai, Grandmaster 6 Samurai, making it so that if it is destroyed, he can target 1 6 Samurai monster in his graveyard and then it back to his hand. So he ends his turn and now passes over to me, and on my turn here I draw into Snatch Steal, a really awesome card that is commonly used in a lot of decks on Legacy. First of all, I'm going to play Terraforming. Now, one thing which I've said in the past is that I often like to go out for Ghost Trick Parade first so that I can get some more searchability out my deck. However, in this situation, I decided to go for Ghost Trick Mansion because I'm a little bit worried about 6 Samurais and their ability to kind of just be so explosive. They can, they have really good options for just doing so much damage against my opponent or against their opponent in a single turn. So I want to kind of get some kind of field presence built up here. So I use Snatch to take his Grandmaster monster and now destroy his Enshi, and now that's going to do 400 in damage to him. And before the end of my turn, I'm going to play Ghost Trick Mansion so that any battle damage I take is halved, and that way if he does find a way to kind of swarm the field, I won't take so much damage. And then I play Needle Sealing face down in case I can destroy a lot of monsters on the field. Passing over to MrMcAwesomePants here, he draws into a 6th card, or is a 5th card in his hand now, and then he gains 1000 life points from Snatch Steal, and now he sets out 1 card on the field. And let's see what he's going to do this turn. Is he going to try and make another hand of play? He sets down another card on the field, and he could maybe play a couple of monsters. If he finds a way to destroy Snatch Steal, that would be really beneficial for him. He normal summons Kageki, which is going to let him special summon another 6 Samurai monster from his hand to the field. So let's see what he brings out. He brings out Enshi. So glad that wasn't the level 3 6 Samurai, which will allow him to then special summon out legendary 6 Samurai Shien from his extra deck. So he passes over to me now, and in draw phase of this turn, he decides to flip over the trap card, Compulsory Evacuation Device, which is going to target his Grandmaster and try to add it back to his hand. Now I make a mistake here. I tried to play Book of Moon in response to this card in order to flip his monster face down and then maybe make Compulsory Evacuation Device and lose its target. Plus, when a monster is flipped face down whilst it's being taken with Snatch Steal, it will remain face down on the side of the field it was currently on. However, this doesn't seem to work because it guess Compulsory Evacuation Device doesn't target face up monsters specifically. It doesn't care, it just targets a single monster, so I guess it didn't lose its target in that situation. So before the end of my turn, I play Swords of Concealing Light to flip his 2 monsters face down and therefore stop them from changing their battle position for at least 2 turns, or for as long as Swords of Concealing Light is face up on the field. MrMcAwesomePants draws into another card here, and I've got to be really careful. At any moment or a moment's notice, he can really just go into one of these crazy plays which allows him to summon a ton of monsters in a single turn and then just swing and try and OTK me. He starts things off here this turn by tributing his face down Sanji in order to tribute summon Grandmaster the 6 Samurai. A little bit surprised that he wanted to do that because he's losing a card for doing so. Perhaps he really wanted that monster in the graveyard, or perhaps he just really wanted to attack me this turn and didn't want to wait for Swords of Concealing Light. But yeah, he does so, and now he comes into the battle phase to attack me directly, and I'm going to take half of his attack in damage, which is going to be 1050 life points. Now, before I let damage calculation resolve, I use Ghost Trick Mary's effect to discard it and then special summon a Ghost Trick monster from my deck to the field. Really great searching card. I really love this card, and the monster which I'm going to search out from my deck is Ghost Trick Jiangxi, which is the searcher for this deck and the playmaker, which sets a whole lot of things up for you. So hopefully if I can keep it around, I can get a couple of cards out of my deck thanks to his effect. Now my opponent decides to play Double-Edged Sword Technique, which lets him target 2 6 samurai monsters in his graveyard and special summon them. Really cool card. I'm wondering how this deck really plays in terms of being maybe used more as a rank 4 box, because Double-Edged 6 samurai sword technique, whatever that card is called, has an effect where during the end phase of the turn, my opponent will take damage equal to those 2 monsters' attack if they're still face up in the field, but if you use them for an XE summon, that's not really a problem. MrMcAwesomePants then plays Ascension of the 6 Samurai, a quick play spell card which allows him to target 1 6 Samurai monster on his field, and then he can special summon another with the same attack as it from his deck. I think it has to have a different name. Yes, it has to have a different name too, but equal attack. Not many targets in the 6 Samurai deck can be special summoned through this effect, but you can bring out Kizan, which has the same effect as Sanji. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about 6 Samurai's explosiveness. They're so good at just quickly summoning, swarming the field. Now that he has 4 cards on the field, I'm first going to play Ghostricks Lantern. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want more monsters on the field so that when I flip over Jiangshi, I can search out higher level Ghostricks monsters from my deck, except just my level 1s. The level 1s are the playmakers, but they don't really hit the field that often, and they're really just there to support your bigger monsters, and that's what you really need to get into your higher level monsters in order to make things happen. As he attacks with his Enshi, I decide to play Needle Ceiling, which is going to destroy all the 6 samurais on this field that are face up. However, his Grandmaster of the 6 samurai is going to still activate, where when it's destroyed, you can add 1 6 samurai monster from your graveyard to your hand, including itself. So it's a nice little loop. Grandmaster of the 6 samurai really helps 6 samurai cards or decks maintain their presence by continuously cycling him and getting him back from the graveyard to the hand. So I managed to stop that play, managed to keep that fend off his attack for at least this turn here, and I'm really going to have to try and grab something from my deck in order to kind of shut him down for a while if I want to get be able to slow this game down enough so that I can actually start doing some damage to him. So one counter gets done or added to the timer for Swords of Concealing Light, and as I said in the last turn, I flip over Lantern, then Jiangshi, in order to search out a level 2 or lower monster from my deck. And the monster which I'm going to search out is Ghostricks Nekomasumi. Ghostricks Nekomasumi has a really good effect, even though she's got very poor stats for a level 2 monster. I'm going to summon her face up on the field, which typically would be a very dangerous thing to do for such a low attacking monster, but in this situation it's going to be fine because her effect is really disruptive. First of all, I'm going to attack directly with Ghostricks Nekomasumi, who's going to do a whopping 400 attack damage. And then I'm going to do the same with Jiangshi, which being a level 3 still matches it. And then I'm going to attack directly with Ghostricks Lantern, who for some reason has more attack than these two. 1600 damage done in total this turn, and now we go into main phase 2, where I'm going to keep Nekomasumi face up on the field and Ghostricks Lantern, but flip over Jiangshi. Now, Nekomasumi, I've said this in the past, but what her effect is that while she is face up on the field and you have another Ghostricks monster on the field, she makes it so that any level 4 or higher monster that is summoned to my opponent's side of the field is instantly flipped face down. So that means pretty much all of his deck when you're playing 6 samurais, because most of their monsters, except for his level 3 and his tuner level 2, really will get flipped face down. Now with something that's also Concealing Light on the field, this would be really bad for MrMcAwesomePants, because then he would not be able to flip summon. But unfortunately, Swords of Concealing Light has run out of juice, and therefore I need to find another way to make it so that my opponent fears Nekomasumi, even though she can stun them for at least 1 turn. So I searched out Ghostricks Stein thanks to Jiangshi's effect, and Stein has a nice effect which it will activate when he does battle damage. So let's attack with the weenies again, attack directly to my opponent, ignoring that face down card, which if I remember correctly is a Kageki, his level 3 monster I think, and then yeah, this is only a little bit of damage, but the damage for Ghostricks do add up over time, even though they only apply in little small bursts. They're very much a poking deck. This deck kind of reminds me of fighting games and the turtle style of fighting games, where you really keep your defense really high, but you poke out little bits of damage in order to build up your super meter in order to do big explosive attacks. Now Ghostricks Stein, when he does battle damage, allows me to search out any Ghostricks card from my deck and add it to my hand, being it a monster, a spell, or a trap card. And I searched out a copy of Ghostricks Knight, which will be coming to play in a little while. Now I play Ghostrick Alucard through an XC summon by giving up my Stein and my Jiangxi. Sometimes I'm really not sure whether to play Alucard and get rid of Jiangxi, because Jiangxi gets me more free cards, but Alucard has effects which can protect my face up field of monsters and also get rid of face down cards in the field, as it's doing now to destroy Kageki. They're only doing so because it's free right now through Alucard's effect, and more monsters on my opponent's field is bad for me, and it's good for him and bad for me. So let's get rid of that face down card. Now before the end of the turn, I'm going to flip Lantern face down where it's nice and safe, keep Alucard and Nekomasumi face up so her effects can stay in play, and thanks to Alucard, if my opponent tries to attack Nekomasumi, he won't be able to do so. He can only attack Alucard, and so she's going to be protected for a little while whilst Alucard's face up on the field. Now at the start of this turn, I'm going to play Ghostrick Knight. Normally I wouldn't play a trap card so early into a turn. I would wait for my opponent to do something to respond with it, but Ghostrick Knight is going to be supported by a card called Ghostrick Vanish, which makes it so that any card or Ghostrick card on my side of the field or face down card cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So I want Ghostrick Knight to be face up so that if it gets targeted, I can stop it from being destroyed or whatever may happen, say like a Castell or something, I don't know. So now in this turn, MrMcAwesomePants normal summons Kagemusha of the 6th Samurai. He's going to find a way to kind of get out of this lock here, because otherwise he's going to have to keep having his monsters flip face down. And thanks to Ghostrick Knight makes it so that my opponent cannot flip summon any monsters as long as a Ghostrick card is face up on the field. Or is it a Ghostrick monster? I'm pretty sure it's a Ghostrick monster. So basically he has to get rid of Alucard and Nekomasumi before he can start flip summoning his monster. So kind of in a favourable position here. The question is, does he have a way to get rid of it? And he kind of does find an answer through the use of Snatch Steal, where he is going to grab one of my cards, and I'm going to try and play Ghostrick Vanish, but it is too little too late. Ghostrick Vanish, its protection effect only works before the card is targeted. If the card is already targeted, it doesn't matter, so I can't respond to Snatch Steal. It's not going to make it really a big difference in this situation, so he still gets to take my monster, and this is bad because I'm going to lose my little soft lock here with Nekomasumi. Yeah, he's going to be able to attack and destroy here quite easily, which is sad. I'm going to need to find a way to kind of gain control of this field again. So yeah, let's see what MrMcAwesomePants does. Is he going to attack? He is. He's going to destroy Nekomasumi, get rid of her, get her off the field. But before he does so, I am going to send Mary again to the graveyard to get another monster from my deck. Something that I can use hopefully to turn the tide of this game back in my favor, because right now I'm in a pretty bad position. However, there are no cards which can say instantly answer the situation I'm in. There are no cards which can say destroy Snatch Steal or bounce Alucard off the field. So and I don't want to turn it face down because then he will get to keep it. So I'm going to go for Ghostrick's Jiangxi so that I can add more free cards from my deck to my hand. And thanks to Mansion, my opponent will be forced to attack directly with his Kagemusha, and I won't be able to, and he won't be able to attack my face down cards. Now, what is still beneficial in this situation, and is actually even better, is Ghostrick Knight only concerns itself with having a Ghostrick card face up on the field. Now, that doesn't matter what side of the field it is. If it's my side or my opponent's side, my opponent still cannot flip summon. So he can't bring that Grandmaster back face up as long as Alucard is on his side of the field, which is kind of favourable because I doubt he has any way of getting rid of Alucard outside of maybe, say, Tribute summoning it. So Ghostrick Knight is still going to be in play for a while, and Grandmaster isn't going to be a threat for a while. So now I normal summon that Ghostrick Ghoul. I bring that out with Lantern before flipping up Jiangxi, so I can search out a level 3 or lower monster from my deck to my hand. In this situation, it's really hard to say what the best card is to go for. I could go for a hand trap such as Spectre or Mary. The only thing which I find though is that Spectre clashes with Mary. I think you can't use Mary and Spectre at the same time, so I might take Spectre out for a while because I tend to just go for Mary first. But maybe I've just been very lucky with my hands and getting both, getting a Mary in my early hands, but who knows. So I go to add a copy of Ghostrick Witch, which might be able to deal with some threats depending on the situation of the field, but right now I'm not going to be able to use her, so I'm going to have a look at my extra deck. Is there anything in my extra deck I can really use to kind of get out of this situation? No, doesn't seem so. So I'm going to try and do something else instead. I'm going to try and find another way to maybe just get back control of the field and put pressure on my opponent. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to activate a certain card's effect, and the card effect which I'm going to activate is Ghostricks effect. Ghostricks has a very unique and very quite crazy effect. His effect is that he can target one monster on the field, and its attack becomes combined. It comes equal to the combined attack of all Ghostricks cards on the field. Now, as you know, Ghostricks monsters don't have a lot of attack, but when you combine them all into one, they do stack up quite nicely. And so now Ghostricks has become from 1100 attack to 4100 in attack. This is going to be really good for me, and I'm going to attack his Kagemusha of the 6 Samurai. One, because it's a tuner, and that's bad for me. I do not want him to go into the extra deck for his synchro monsters, but also I'm able to do 3700 damage to his life points, leaving him with only 100 life points left, which is going to really put some pressure on him, because all I have to do now is just land one more attack with any monster, and I should be able to win this game. So now, before the end of my turn, I'm going to flip my monsters back face down and stop there, because I don't want them to take any battle damage by attacking. However, I am very much aware that he does have my Alucard with 1 XE material, and therefore he will be able to destroy one of my set cards. But the question is, which one? Which card would he go for? I think he probably might go for Ghoul, because of his stupid attack boosting power, but he also might go for Jiangshi because he maybe doesn't want me searching more cards out of my deck. On Mr. McAwesome's turn, on to the 11th turn of this game here, he sets down 1 card on the field. He plays Alucard as expected. What's he going to target and try and get rid of? Send the Stein to the graveyard. What's it going to be? He's having to think about it. He's trying to decide what is going to be the biggest threat to him. Really, like, one mistake in this situation would be game over for him, and he decides to destroy Jiangshi, which I think is a fair answer. I feel like whether he destroyed Ghoul or Jiangshi, they're both kind of even in this situation. Jiangshi does get me more free cards and turns my deck into a toolbox, but Ghoul also has that absurd attack. And now he attacks me directly with Alucard, and I'm going to take 1800 in damage, which I'm fine with taking. It is a lot of damage to take, but in this situation, I'm kind of comfortable with it. Like I said, all I need to do is hit one more attack on my opponent, and I can win this game here. So Mr. McAwesomePants is having to think, is there anything else he can do? He goes to the main phase 2, and I think, if I remember correctly, that card in his hand is a spell or trap card, and he decides to set it on the field, and then he's going to end his turn. So over to my turn here. I draw into another copy of Jiangshi, quite fortunately. Won't be able to use him in this turn, but then I gain 1000 life points thanks to Snatch Steal. And then, question is, what am I going to do? Can I get an attack in to kind of win this game here? In this situation, typically I wouldn't attack my opponent because of his back row, but because I don't really have many answers to deal with back row, and I don't want to wait too long. If I wait too long, he might get one of those crazy 6 Samurai cards, which allows him to just turn the tide of the game in his favor. I feel like I need to kind of take some risks, so I'm going to use Ghostricks effect in this situation. I should have probably flipped up Lantern first. Probably would have been better to do that, but I'm going to use Ghostricks effect because Ghostricks not only gains attack to Ghostricks monsters on my side of the field, but also his side of the field, so he does gain 1800 attack thanks to Alucard. And now I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, and I'm just going to try to attack Alucard and see if this attack goes through. Will it go through? Can I get the damage done? And it goes through. Thank you very much, Mr. McAwesomePants, for playing me, doing really nice 6 Samurai deck. And if anyone else wants to go challenge me and be in an episode of Subscriber Showdown, let me know and we'll arrange it. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.